Hello, hello, hello. I have yellow imitation Play-Doh from the Dollar Tree store. And it is awesome. And I am making a meat flour with that today. I completed my art project Fort Bidwell Part 1 and Part 2. I'm going to show it another time because it is in the staircase now, both pieces. And they're completed, and I still have to put some fabrics into these individual compartments. That's what I wanted to do. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. It goes deep. Oh my goodness. There's no end inside. It goes deep. Okay, so that is basically that's the beginning of the meat flour. So now I have to do the individual petals. But yes, this is a nice flower. But it is not open like that. It is meatishly closed. So I'm gonna give this meat flour to my human man unicorn sculpture, and he can play with this. He can put his nose into it. He will say, that smells good. That's what I like. Okay, now that's called universal humor, and it has nothing to do with bullying or making fun of anyone, or it always things come across like this because we grow up in a society that has basically no humor at all. Real humor is when you can see a bird on the side of the road doing funny movements. My dad, he'll come to LA and he'll be the only person there, except me, of course, who will notice the raven on the side of the road making funny body and he'll say, look at that raven, what he's doing, the way he's dancing. And I go, yeah, I saw that too. That's very cute. And then I look around and no one else notices the raven. They don't even see the raven because they're so busy in their brains with the things they have been told by society. There's no more space for a raven on the side of the road, or a frog, or a squirrel coming up to people. There's no more space in their brains. Okay. That's what I notice in society in general. Everywhere I go, I have been to different places in my life. I see it in Germany, see it here. I've been to Kenya a couple of times. The tourists from Germany in Kenya, they will pay more attention to the birds, particularly the toucan birds in the palm trees. That they're having a lot of fun. They're making fun of the people underneath. Look at those red-faced Germans. And the Germans, they were amused by them, and that's because they were on a vacation, and they were in a better mood. In LA, on the street, people are in a bad mood. They have been indoctrinated. I don't even want to use the word brainwash, because we need to actually wash our brains in a good way. Not after my videos. My videos are there to wash your brains in a good way, okay? That way around. So, but yeah, I've been accused of making dirty videos, and that's again, that's society brain dirtying you into thinking that sexual subjects are somehow better kept away from the public view or something like that. That is a false belief, okay? Because with this false belief, they create shame in people for sexual things. So when I talk about these sexual things, and I have my natural humor with it, when I make sculptures, I'm not making fun of anyone. I feel love for you, baby. Yeah. I feel infinite love for you. I'm not making fun of you. Ever. Never, ever. I would never make fun of anyone. Okay. This is universal love and humor and creativity. Yeah. It's joy, universal joy. It's infinite cosmos joy. Sex should be infinite cosmos joy, and not something that you see from society. You're supposed to do it like this or like that. You're supposed to be with that person and not with that person. You're supposed to this or whatever. That's not joy anymore. Okay, that's why the people can't see the raven making funny body movements on that, I don't know, some kind of fence post he was sitting on. And I thought that's cute that my dad sees that. My dad has a creative brain, and that's how I have a creative brain. I inherited that from him, okay, genetically. That's genetic, of course. But I believe that all of us, whatever our genetic disposition is, all of us can take a clump of Play-Doh and play with it. Everyone can go on Clecky. Okay, this is a fantastic paint program, absolutely lovely. And just draw something with their finger on the keypad on their computers. Okay, Just draw something with it. It doesn't have to be like a straight line or something perfect or some perfect geometrical shape. Just scribble something with it. Do a Jackson Pollock with it. Okay, just scribble over and over and over and over with colors, and just go wild, go crazy with it, with the colors and with the shapes. Then you're in tune with the infinite cosmos. Then you're not thinking about, oh, is this going to be perceived as accurate or false, or right or wrong. Yeah. Art has nothing to do with society or right or wrong, or religion or nationality or your skin color or your background that you come from. It's nothing to do with that. Art loves you unconditionally. The infinite cosmos loves you unconditionally. The infinite cosmos is art. That's the creation process. Jiddu Krishnamurti was talking about it. That is the creation process. Okay? It's beautiful. And the reproduction process is kind of like art, It is. It's a beautiful thing. Don't be afraid of it. It's funny how I made 5 petals. Hello. There are some sea creatures that look like that, and they all pop up, and they're like related to nematodes and anemones. Anemone, starfish, sea cucumber related meat flower beings deep in the ocean. But some of them are in tide pools, and they're they're attached to the rock with some sucker cups on the bottom, and then they do this movement here, and they suck up all kinds of nutrients. And it goes into this tube and comes out the rear end. It's so much fun to make art. I recommend it to people because it will calm down your mind. Okay, it will quiet your monkey brain. I was just reading in the Kendall Schwartz-Giselle Principles of Neuroscience. I bought that book when I was studying psychology in London at the university, and that's our class mandatory book for physiological psychology that goes into neuroscience. And once in a while I just sit there and read a little bit in that book. So if we had the internet here at this house, I wouldn't be reading in that book. I'd be just Googling stuff. But this gives me an opportunity to dig a little bit deeper and sit there in contemplation and read a little bit more about neuroscience and the brain. It's very interesting. I discovered something that I already discovered in myself. I saw that our feet are the tactile sensation in our feet are actually represented all the way like there somewhere, not far from the brainstem, which is the rudimentary brain, which is the reptile brain, and that is the primordial area. And I already discovered that because I have fantasies. Maybe I'll make more videos about my fantasies in the future. I have been too shy about this so far, but I want to share one of my fantasies. So I've been thinking about two men on each side of my body, and they each take one of my feet into the hands and massage them. And that is very, 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 very exciting. To the meat flower. And I was wondering, interesting, why is that so closely connected to that? And I just saw it now in that neuroscience book that the genital area in women and men is very, very close on that homunculus, and we have all kinds of things represented in our cortex, okay, and the lower regions also. All kinds of, the whole body is represented in it, okay, in terms of processing stimuli input from the body. So the genitalia are right underneath the feet. So if you get a foot massage, there'll be no surprise that it will also stimulate the area that is represented in the brain underneath the feet, so which is the genitalia. And that's very interesting. So it just happens to be like this in the formation of the brain. And so now I understood why I had that fantasy. Okay. One man on each side. And another one. And that's reserved only for the one. For the one and only is this flower. Okay. But he dumped me, and I might never meet him because I made mistakes. I was too needy, I was too desperate, I was too borderline, borderline psychotic, sort of, like at the border of feeling not loved. And that's why Sam Vaknin said, if you have a borderline girlfriend, BPD, borderline personality disorder, that's when we feel very easily not loved. Anything can set that off. You don't feel loved. It's like, what? You don't love me? What? You don't, you're abandoning me? That's always there. It's this childhood trauma. Why are you not writing? So that comes up immediately. I feel abandoned. I feel dumped. What's going on? In the past, I wouldn't talk about it. I would bottle it up. And that's much worse. Okay. Then we have even more misunderstandings. If we bottle it up, and then if we play games of, I'm gonna play a game, I'll just go to someone else, and so on. I didn't do that. I didn't go to someone else. That's a misunderstanding. I just cried on the shoulder of other people. That's all I did. I didn't flirt with anyone. I really didn't. I have some male admirers, but that doesn't incriminate me. I didn't flirt with them. When they say something flirtatious, that doesn't mean I did. I flirted back. Okay. I'm not gonna diagnose you, but I'm just making a general statement now. When two unicorns come together and they both have childhood trauma, Mommy was a monster. You bet. And we carry that into our adulthood. Okay. We carry that around with us for the rest of our lives, that trauma, until we gradually, very gradually, talk it off and cry it out. And that's why this inwardness meditation process is so infinitely important. It is infinitely important. You have no idea. No drugs, no street drug, no farmer drugs, no hallucinogenic substances, no iboga, no DMT, no ayahuasca. Yeah, some people can, if they want to, they can smoke weed or make weed cookies or something with cannabis and stuff like that. That is a medicinal plant, but I personally, if someone asks me, is that the plant you recommend, I'd say no. There are so many plants, and some of them can be okay for a while, like cannabis could be, if that's what you want to do, that's better than drugs or alcohol, but it's still also a drug, and it gets people addicted, and Paul used to be addicted to it. Okay, it was very difficult to quit for him. I was never addicted to it because it made me paranoid, so whatever makes me paranoid does not get me addicted. It would be the other way around, something that takes the paranoia away completely. I would be a candidate for narcotics addiction, for sure. But my prefrontal cortex knows better than that. I know not to get into it, because I know that would definitely affect me. I want to numb myself. I don't want to feel my monster mother trauma anymore. And I don't blame you at all if you want to do it. Again, also, I'm not assuming anything about anyone. I'm only asking questions. The statements I make in my videos are for all people, not just addressed towards one person and saying, I suspect you, No. I don't know you. I don't know anyone really. There are some people I've been talking to for many years. My friend Sandy. Okay. And I will not share personal information with people. If you tell me something, I will not talk about this publicly. for sure, because that's confidential. My videos are here. The number one reason for my videos is that I have someone to talk to about my problems, okay? And if I feel borderline and I feel like my childhood trauma comes up with the insecurity, for my monster mother not loving me and not being there for me and being cold and all of that, not getting enough touch, when that trauma comes up, when it's triggered in my daily life, I need to talk about that, okay? I need to talk about it. It's very important to talk about it. This is vital for me to talk about this. I don't have anyone to talk about this with. Paul will get mad. Paul will say, this is just wrong. Okay, well, that's how, when I first met him, I was still doing primotherapy in LA. And when I talked about my jealousy issues and all, jealousy is wrong. Case closed. Well, that doesn't help anyone. That's the problem. That got me so mad sometimes I would throw things. So I'm not doing that anymore. But he just closes it off. He doesn't want to hear it. He thinks he's a free thinker, but then he repeats what other people say in different regards. People can be atheists and still be very close-minded. So to hear something that they've been told their entire lives about this or that subject, or they'll say, and some of that stuff still comes from the evangelical school. So they're just not aware of it, that it comes. My parents' life, like almost everything, almost all of these false beliefs that they come from the evangelical school, and they don't even think about it. They don't even question it. They don't say, wait a minute, that comes from the evangelical school. Let's slow down here. Let's pay attention. Let's question that. Need to question this. When you have jealousy, it's there. You can't suppress it. You can't say, "Oh, this is just wrong." No, this is not right and it's not wrong. It has nothing to do with right and wrong. When I feel jealousy, it just is. It's from my past trauma. Okay? My brother was born 5 years after me, and I didn't get enough love from my mother. And when he was born, and they were all, how cute is that baby, and is that a little girl? And that was serious competition for me, because he had full hair and I was bald when I was a baby. My hair's like really fine hair, and my brother has thicker curls, and they all thought he was a cute little girl. And then I was put into the shadow. I was standing there, and I made this painting. Big Dog is standing next to, farther away from, a store. The store represents the mother. Annalise wrote about this already. My parents brought that into the child play therapy, and she already saw that the store is represented for the mother, for the home, and the big dog was farther away from the home and crying big tears, standing alone, and the little dog was big curly hair, was still on a leash on that home. And in that painting, it represented this, the umbilical cord, the emotional bond to the family home, to the mother. The little dog was still held by the hand, basically, and loved and given protection, and he had a happy facial expression, and the big dog was standing farther away alone, crying, and that was me, the big dog, my brother, the little dog. I painted tons of paintings like that my parents brought with them into the first parent conversation with psychologist Annalise. I threatened my mother with a kitchen knife when I was 5 years old. That's what started all of this. She thought I was brain damaged. I wasn't. They did a test on my brain, completely normal brain function. Psychological trauma, okay. Jealousy of my little brother. I was mad at my mother for not giving me the love that I needed. I didn't even know. It was all unconscious. I cry sometimes for hours. Yesterday was a day like that. And then I recover and it is cried out, okay, out of the system. And I have insights and I feel like another part has been healed. It's a healing process. And then I have universal humor again. We can't have universal humor. We can't be tuned into the infinite if our brains are cluttered with pain and with act-outs and with convolutions from the present day life. And if you take drugs, then it just convolutes the brain even more. Then it just clutters the brain up even more. My back hurts. So we have to gradually go into that inwardness meditation process. Very gradually feel through it, through the pain. I know we want to run away from that, but we have to feel through it. But you can only do that gradually, and you can only do that if you feel safe, in a safe place. You can't do that when you're not feeling safe at all. When you're hanging out with people who bring out the same trauma, who trigger that same trauma. You need to be with people who don't trigger that trauma. You need to be with loving people. But as Dr. Arsajanov pointed out, that people try to repeat the trauma in their daily lives. So they hang out with exactly the same people that are like representative for the mother or the father or stepfather who has beaten his son, his stepson. That happens so many times. You have no idea how often this is happening in the world. That's why it is so infinitely important that you are the one. You are the one. Every one of us is taking that journey within our own minds and beginning to heal yourself from the inside out, from the bottom up. Don't bully anyone anymore. Don't retaliate anymore. Don't play head games anymore. I don't play head games. I don't. I would never play head games. Ever, ever. I never humiliate anyone. I never try to make anyone jealous. I love only you. And if you don't love me, then I have to accept that. It is what it is. To accept it and live with it. And I still love you, no matter what. Unconditionally. After that video chat, for me it was real. For me personally, what I felt was real. I felt like I've seen you before. It felt like a deja vu, very strongly, you know. It felt like I'm tapping into something cosmic. That's what it felt to me. Cosmic. Like I've known you from another world. Very strange. Also when I saw your photos. That's why I first thought those were photos from an animation film. That can't be real. And when I saw that you're real. Unless they do Photoshop films now, but I don't think so. Not with that high quality. No, when I saw you in the video chat, I felt like I am out there at the Orion Nebula, out there in heaven, literally. I felt like I've known you from heaven, from out there somewhere, way out there, from the vastness of infinity. That's what it felt like. When I have that feeling, that's cosmic. That comes from the infinite. And I quite enjoy every day. And then you dump me. And I signed up for the suicide prevention group on Facebook. because I fell deep. I ended up in the chat room again to see my old friends cry my heart out. I'm not humiliating you. I have a lot of trauma, and my past and my healing path is to talk about it and not to suppress it ever. So that's how I deal with it. I talk about it and I cry it out. And if you don't want me, that's okay. I still love you unconditionally. I love you on every level. I love you like a mother. I love you like a lover, like a sister, like the song from Motorhead. See your sad eyes. These vulnerable eyes. My gosh. Wow. I've never seen eyes like this before. On any human. Cosmic eyes. Amazing. Amazing eyes. Amazing face, body. My gosh. I didn't know that something like this existed. I will always love you, no matter what. No matter where I go, no matter who I live with, I'll always think about you. I'll never forget you. Even if we only had this very, very brief encounter of, I don't know, maybe a month or something. I'll never forget you. You can always count on me, if you ever need help, I'm here for you, always will be. I love you. And I have a meat love for you. Okay, take care.